What up, everybody? It's your boy Mike, the Middleman. I think I'm gonna start a little thing. We're gonna call it like the Middleman Chronicles or something, because I'm doing the Mike Sounds Nice podcast, but I might spin that off on its own channel and just do the Mike Sounds Nice podcast on a whole different type of tip. But this is the Middleman Chronicles, and I'm just gonna kind of just sort out what I think it is to be like an underground independent artist, right? I have been doing the independent grind for quite a bit of time. You know what I mean? I put quite a bit of effort and just, trying to build certain things. We do have a pretty decent catalog. We do pretty decent, I guess, if you far as streaming, even though streaming doesn't really, pay out like that. But I thought it would be kind of interesting to just kind of like showcase, maybe what an artist does. Cause I know, you go on like all the socials and all that different type of stuff, and everybody's promoting the new song, the new whatever, and it looks so glamorous. Like even when I go through, even underground artists, they're doing videos. Hey, video shoot today, photo shoot today, hey, music shoot today, going to the studio. Like it's all this like real glamorous, like just beautiful essence of making everybody, like I'm an artist, I'm doing this, whatever. And I think a lot of artists, and I could be wrong, but it's just been in my experience, a lot of artists don't actually showcase how hard it is, how expensive it is, what the turnaround is, you know what I mean? Because as soon as you put out a record, it's trying to go back in the studio and get another one. And I thought I was going to do, I'm going to showcase that because I'm going to keep it honest, keep it a buck, keep it 100. I have been tossing back and forth if I even want to rhyme anymore. Now, I do have another project, the Steel Project, which is kind of done. It's almost done. I was waiting for a song to kind of get not remix, but just put a different track on it. But I don't know if it's going to get done in a decent amount of time or whatever. I don't know if it's get done at all. Actually, I haven't really pressed anybody about it. But I do not know if I want to rhyme anymore, right? And I've been telling a lot of my people that before. And I'm in a group called the New Legends. I've been telling my cousin that since the first time we even did a first album. I was like, yo, man, I think I'm gonna fall back. I don't know if I want to rhyme, and that's when I really love rhyming. Then, right? But it's not like I'm going to get out of hip hop completely. I'm not doing that. I love hip hop. I built the Chaotic brand up over the last couple years. I think that's kind of been a slow burn, and I actually dig doing the business aspect of things. I think it's kind of ill, to trying to build something up, and I actually would love to put together a project with somebody and do their whole project. And not have it be a New Legend project or a Mike the Middleman project or a G13 project. I like it to go outside the box with somebody outside the actual camp and see if we can put together something ill. And I think I might have a person in line that might want to do that. And we were working on with another lady on her album. We might have been finishing that up as well. But I think, like I said, originally what I think is a lot of people don't explain the difficulties as far as being an artist. Now, I said in one of my previous videos, like I was like, oh yeah, everybody's rhyming about, everybody's a rapper now, ha ha. And it's a big fucking joke, right? And I really like, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times there's artists out there putting a lot of time and effort, putting songs in. Some are going to hit, some are going to not. You can literally be a middle-class artist earning, a nice income, taking care of yourself. It's maybe not be, superstar level, you know what I mean, on the millions of dollars or more, whatever. But you can literally tour. You can actually make a decent living, earn, minimum, not a minimum wage, but like a mid-level wage, take care of your family, take care of your bills and everything, and still be a rapper, still get everything out there, still be an MC. But a lot of times, I don't think people bring, a lot of energy on how much it takes to get stuff out there. So, me as an artist, what I'll do is I have my own studio now, but before you would rent out studio time, and that could be a couple hundred to thousands of dollars, right? To just if you're doing a project, and that's a cost right there. And a lot of times you might not recoup that cost, and then you have to write. And I don't think a lot of people put a value on the time that it takes to write songs. Now it takes me a while because I like to come up with different concepts. Like when I did the Wall Street joint. It was all about investing and how to get, money, I guess an investment way, like trying to teach or whatever, but it couldn't be like lame or boring. It can't be like, hey, this is what you do. Step one, like you do back in the 80s, fucking when they was you trying to utilize hip hop in the commercials, and they didn't really have like real MCs doing it, and they'd be fake rapping. That shit used to piss me off. But it's not like that. You had to do something clever. You had to do something nice. So it took me a little while to write. Or when, I did, a song, when I'm just doing songs, it just takes a little bit of time. So that time, and if let's say you do a song and you put it out, right? let's say it'll take you a couple hours, couple days. I don't know people's writing process. I know a lot of people like to say, "Oh, I just jump in the studio and rhyme and do my shit, whatever." Well, that's not me, right? I like to take days and I like to write my shit down, come back, take stuff out, move stuff around. I get in the studio. I'm all the way up until the time of recording. I'm actually trying to move it around and make it sound right. And that takes time, whatever. And people don't calculate that time. They just say, I'm putting together a song. And a lot of times it's fun. So I think one of the funnest experiences besides doing shows is writing rhymes and being in the studio and, having a thought in your head and then going to the booth and just knocking it out. And then, like I said, that process takes a while as well, especially if you're in the studio. When I was first going into the studio, I would go into the studio with a gang of folks. We all try and get in the studio, trying to get a song done. And as soon as you get in the booth, you will lay something. The homie's like, yeah, it's dope. Get out, because the motherfucker's ready to get on. He's ready to get his rhymes off, right? And now that I got my own home studio, what I do is I'll record somebody's vocals, and then I will go ahead and just rhyme my vocals after. And I'm going to keep it a buck, keep it 100, keep it a thou wow, all that. I don't go in the booth and just rhyme it one or two times to it, whatever. Like, I will rhyme a verse 50, 100, 1,000 times until I like it, and I'll know in my head when it's the right one. I'll rhyme and whatever, and I'll get through the whole verse, and if it's whatever, I'll add my little, not ad libs, but like I guess there's like little effects and essence in my voice when I'm rhyming, and I will rhyme literally until I like it. Again, I don't care if it's all night. I've been in the studio, my own studio. We used to call it the Beehive. I call it the Elements now because it'd be mad hot in there, mad cold, mad windy, all that shit. So you got to deal with the elements in there because it's in my garage. But I will sit in that studio for 7, 8, 10 hours on one verse if it takes. Like, until I hear it right in my head, and I'll hear it in my head. Like, I'll go back, I'll listen to them, of course, and I call it doing laps because I'll run to the studio, I'll play it, I'll come back, I'll sit down, I'll listen to it, I'll run to the studio, go back, come back, whatever. So I call it doing laps. But even when I'm rhyming, I can tell immediately that I'm not going to like it. And, I'll spend as much as time, as I can. So that portion will take a lot of time, and people don't factor that in. And then when I'm doing the whole song, I won't leave until the whole song is done. So now that I'm on studio, I don't have to come back and break anything up. So I'll do, let's say it takes me 4 hours to do the first verse. Well, then I'm going to do 3 hours to do the second verse, and I'll do 2 hours to do the last verse or whatever. And then I'll go back and do the hook, and then I'll go back and do the ad libs and the doubles. I don't really double my verses no more. But I'll do all the little intricate things, and I won't leave the studio until it's done, right? And then I'll go to sleep, and then I'll wake up the next day, and then I'll listen to it and see how I like it. And most of the times, the next day or two, I'll live with it, and you'll see what I like. But for the most part, I like those or whatever. And nobody takes that element in. Nobody takes that amount of time in. Streaming, you're getting half a penny or half a cent, every time somebody listens to the song. So that doesn't really pay itself back. And touring is kind of different because touring for an independent artist is not like touring for a major artist, right? Touring for an independent artist means that you have to probably pay the promoter to go ahead and do a show. I paid to do shows, I've actually got invited to do shows as well and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think the promoters are literally, they carve themselves a business out of this, right? They go ahead, hey, look, I have 10 spots that will host hip-hop. I need to bring X amount of artists over there to the spots so that the club can go ahead and survive or do what they do. Well, that's post-COVID or pre-COVID. I'm not sure what post-COVID is. And then what happens is, let's say you get onto a tour or a show and there's 17, 20 artists, maybe 30, 25, 30 artists. Who knows? There might be a lot of artists. You all have 7-minute sets. The DJ does his thing or whatever. So the people that are benefiting are most likely going to be the promoter because you paid the promoter to do a show. And the bar or the event or the establishment because they're paying for, drinks and the stuff while you're at the show. And then you go out there and rock because, doing shows is a way for people to listen to your music outside of like your circle. You can get this in front of different people. Maybe somebody likes a beat or likes the song, or maybe you pick up a fan or two. This is key, as far as being an independent, artist. And then that's it, what I'm saying? But or you'll try to sell t-shirts or merch, and depending on the designs or the want of it, then you might get some money that way. But 9 times out of 10, when I've done a show that's been paid for, the crowd, not the artist, the crowd are all artists, right? And so they're waiting for you to do your 7 to 10 minutes, and they're waiting for you to get off stage so that they can do their 7 to 10 minutes. And then when you come back and say, hey, why don't you guys check out my CD or whatever, they shake their head. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Probably not. Or, hey, we got merch. You guys think you might want to check out our merch? Probably not, because most likely they're selling merch and they're trying to sell music as well. So the core base that you're looking at, you're selling to different artists. Now, that's where the everybody's an artist thing comes in, right? Everybody's an artist, ha ha ha, wherever. Well, that's where that kind of hinders things, because if you have a crowd full of people that are artists, they might have friends and everything over there, but their friends are trying to help get their guy on, not necessarily get your thing on. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I've rocked shows and people came up to us all after the show, yo, I love this, I love that song, hey, what's this song called, whatever. So I mean, it does have its perks and benefits or whatever. And as I would tell, I was kind of tell my cousin and tell the people, like, you almost have to keep rhyming just to outlast anybody. So anybody that did music at some point, and you're still rhyming, that they might start picking up your music that way. You almost have to outlast them. But like I said, even that in itself, so if you're looking back at it, you paid to do the show, you've paid to record the music, you've taken time to write the music, and as soon as you drop an album or a project, which is easily accessible on Spotify or iTunes or any of the major DSPs, then everybody's waiting for the next music, because they can listen to it one time and then go to somebody else or find one of their favorite artists or do whatever and keep it moving. The streaming money is not, it's not amazing. It's not great. Maybe even the Facebook and the Instagram, which is a little bit more, I think, than the regular DSPs like the Spotify's and the iTunes, it's still not paying the bills like that. You know what I mean? So the only best thing is to get more content out, right? To get more songs out, get more things streaming, get more things out there. Maybe you can get a couple placements. That's probably actually a good incentive to try and get a placement on some movies or commercials or video games, things like that, because that can actually give you a nice, pretty big check or a nice royalty at the end, depending on the popularity. But like I said, a lot of times just being a music artist is a very tough, hard grind, right? You got to grind the fuck out of the music to get some type of return on it. And if you look at even mainstream artists, like look at the mainstream artists, they drop an album, it'll do great, but they'll go out and do some other stuff. They'll go out and get a makeup line or this line or that line, just whatever, because that is going to pay them more money than the music. Because to keep it a buck, man, artists make music because we love music. You know what I'm saying? It's not like even if you're famous, you might be famous for one song, or you might get a song popping for one song, and that might be it for you. You know what I'm saying? Just because nobody's sitting with music like that back in the day. Like back in the day, I would live with it for a minute. I would buy an album, put it in the car, 2 or 3 albums, and honestly, the first album that go in, that one probably get listened to the first day and a half, 2 days or whatever, and then I put the next one in. I know when I bought, I'm dating myself, I bought the Reggie Noble Redman album. I bought that one, and I think I bought Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style at the same time, around the same time, whatever. I didn't buy, Snoop when they first came out, but I bought them at the same time, those 2 records. I listened to Redman for almost 3 months before I listened to Doggy Style. Like, I was so into the joint that I was like, yo, this is ill as hell. I know I got the Doggy Style. I mean, you still had the Snoop video. Sorry, Snoop, you know what I'm saying? But you still had the Snoop videos and all the music on the radio, so it wasn't like I wasn't missing out on it. And you still had people that were listening to it in the car, that loved the joint. But I couldn't get off the Redman joint until I actually was done with it. You know what I'm saying? I got my feeling. And I don't think people sit with music like that anymore. I don't think music is something that people are like, hey, I'm listening to this, I'm vibing with it. Now, maybe there's some songs that hit, and maybe it's not hip hop, maybe it's other R&B and rock and country and stuff that really resonates with people, or maybe it's the catalog or the music that they had, the soundtrack they had growing up that they kind of stick with, and they like those songs. But I don't think people are sitting and listening and absorbing music like it was when it first came out, especially hip hop. Like hip hop, it seems to be, not say losing its luster, but it's almost like people are like, okay, we like this next. Okay, yeah, we like that next. Or whoever is a popular MC or rapper or whoever's got the popular song, that's cool. Let's run with it for about 3 months and then on to the next whatever. And that right there is kind of what makes me not want to do music or rhyme anymore. I'm not saying I won't rhyme, because I'm always going to rhyme. I'm always going to get in the studio. I'm always going to get in the booth, because for me, music is a way for me to talk and get my thoughts out. I don't talk to a lot of people. Like I don't go up to tell one of the homies, hey, yo, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way. Hey, or tell my mom or dad, hey, you know what, I'm feeling like in a fucked up situation, and I feel like I need to talk to somebody. I don't tell anybody that shit. I take all the life shit that happens to somebody or anybody that's going through, and I bury that shit until I'm ready to rhyme about it. And so that, in effect, will make me never not rhyme, because if I can't, I absorb a lot of negative energy and a lot of negative things, so I can't not speak to the microphone, if that makes any sense. Like, even if it's not for sale, like, you know what I'm saying? I am going through a whole thing with my family, whole thing with my, just the whole whatever. It's just a situation, all or whatever, kids, family, or whatever. And I am not telling people about the situation. I am rhyming it to the beat or to a certain beat. And that's how I get my clarity out or my thoughts out. This is how I talk to somebody, or this is how I, get it off my conscious or my inner mind. So I'm never not going to rhyme. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to rhyme. I've been doing it for a long time. I said I'm nice. I know I'm nice, so I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If somebody wants to test my pen, go ahead and, at me. You know what I'm saying? It's at chaoticstyles.com. At me, and I'll give you some. But other than that, I'm always going to go ahead and just rhyme for me. I listen to my own songs and just vibe out just because it'll make me feel a certain way. Like it has more emotion to it, more stuff attached. So I love rhyming and rapping. I love the elements of hip hop. I love making graffiti videos. I like, watching graffiti videos and B-boys. B-boys know I love that style. I just wish there was more of it. I wish more people would embrace that. I love watching DJs juggle and skip and, do their whole thing on the turntables. Like, I love the elements of hip hop. So I'm never going to be someone that's going to say, hey, I don't do hip hop anymore. That's not going to happen, right? I love hip hop, and just what it is. The thing is, I just don't know if I want to pursue it as a business, as personally, like me, myself. I would like to put out other people's artists, other people's music, other people's vision as far as music is concerned. I would like to do more films, of course, and things of that nature. I'm just going to sit back and run the chaotic media company, you know what I mean? Because I enjoy media, even though I know everybody has a lot of videos and media stuff they're putting out. I still enjoy it. Like, I still enjoy doing media and that type of element, that type of stuff. So to wrap it up a little bit, I'm just going to say, I think people just don't understand the difficulty and the energy that goes into putting in together music and getting things done and projects and getting artwork taken care of and just all the different things that happen when you're putting together music and stuff like that. I don't think people really understand that, and I kind of wish they did, but just in my experience, you know what I'm saying, it makes me unmotivated sometimes to really want to put out a new project. I like my project Still that's coming out. I like my project Crypto that's coming out. The older ones, I just like the music, but I'm just wondering, like, it's not really to push it out there to be like, yo, I'm the guy that rhymes and does whatever. It's not that. It's just more of an internal thing that I just like putting together records. I like putting together projects, and I want to put together stuff that, it makes a difference, but it just feels right, if that makes sense. So anyway, it's your boy Mike the Middleman. Keep these short because I don't really got like an audience like that. There's not many people out there fucking with me. Like, I got to hear what he's got to say next. So we'll keep it short, under 20 minutes. We'll probably chop it up in 2 versions. You know what I mean? But I appreciate everybody. Do all that YouTube shit, man. I think it's kind of corny when you go there like, yo, do this and this or whatever. I think that shit's mad corny. How the YouTube works, whatever. If you fuck with it, man, you know what I'm saying? Give us some support. We appreciate it. All right, your boy, Mike the Middleman. I am out. Peace.
Slight dip in my step, suited up, tying coats and real fresh to death. Look, my grown man shit, all about my business. Started from nothing, but we was creating, and now when you're creating business, shit, dig. George Jeff would walk out the car from the crib, frying beans in the grill, cause fuck it, that's how we live. I ain't super rich and famous, but I'm able to feed my kids. Plus I got a place to live, I'm still alive, survived past 25, experience amazing female thighs. Homegrown off that Cali Kush, why I never leave the state. Live long enough, see things go from struck, from loving life to find a wife. Things great, moms and pops tight, grandma safe, the bank account zero. Look at my cousin like, yo, we eating right. Continue to write and kiss our girls and dance to the night to the sunlight. Bottles of bub showing love to the haters cause it's love. Think and drink about the cup, now the whole crew toasting and dip cause tonight we about to party in this bitch. Got a big house, expensive whip. Guess Guess what? No one gives a shit. Everybody likes the bars you spit. Guess what? No one gives a shit. The baddest bitch on your hip. Guess what? No one gives a shit. You think Mike the middleman's a dick. Guess what? No one gives a shit.